Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the General Banter podcast. We're back for 2023. Happy New Year, my guys. Our sponsors, as usual, are manscaped.com. I know it is past the Christmas period, but that's no excuse to not buy someone or yourself. And do you know what? New year, new balls. That's what I'm saying around here. Manscaped is, of course, the world's leading product when it comes to shaving your downstairs. Primarily for meals, but you know what I mean. I would take this to a set of flaps, no bother, and it would come out gleaming. But it's a new year, new balls, new you, new flaps, and you should get your hands on one of these things. Get the care package if you want to make use of this offer for the listeners of the podcast. Get the care package. It's got everything in it. It's got the Lawnmower 4.0. It's got the Weed Whacker. It's got the ball toner. It's got the ball deodorant. It's got the cologne. It's got a wash bag that it comes with. Premium product. And if you listen to this podcast, you go on to manscaped.com, use the code GENBANT1 and you get 20% off your purchase. How about that, my guys? What an offer for 2023. Go hit the year with the gleaming set of nuts, immaculate nuts. Manscaped.com, use the code GENBANT1 for 20% off, guys. Shave those pubes away, add 20% onto that's dangle. Cheers, guys. Enjoy the pod. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the General Banter podcast, the first podcast of 2023. Happy New Year. New year, new me. I'm starting it off different. I'm going to the gym. I'm going sea swimming every day. This year is the year. 2023 is my year. I'm going to be sun tanning my anus. I'm going to be drinking green drinks. And I'm going to be doing sit-ups from the ceiling. And I'm whistling because I've got Invisalign in. And we're making improvements all around, my guys. You know what I mean? I couldn't think of a better sort of celebration music than the Rocky theme tune. Yeah, he's doing one-arm push-ups. I'm going to be doing one-arm push-ups right after I've sun-tanned my anus. You know what I mean? We're going for health. We're going keto. Does anybody know what keto is? Fuck no. But it's an excuse for fat cunts to eat cheese all day. Okay? Keto get us. 2023. I'm going to be drinking coconut oil, telling people that I'm burning fats instead of sugars. Because I know about biology in 2023, let me tell you. Shout out Andrew Tate. We're here. We're in the midst of. Am I wearing? I'm looking at myself in the monitor here. Am I wearing fucking almost matching hat, matching sweater? That shout out the ILB Drivers Club as well for the hoodie, sent to me by Adam McPeak. Speaking of which, one of the 12 pods of Christmas guests. If you get yourself onto General Banter, no, don't go to General Banter. Go to patreon.com/General Banter. Podcast. We are in the midst of the 12 pods of Christmas. It's running from the 25th of December until the 5th of January. So we've got a few left in the bag. Tom O'Mahony just went up today. I think it's a lovely selection of guests. Varied, you know. Some people are like, oh, it wasn't funny. And you're like, I'm talking to, you know, a business entrepreneur. It might not be a laugh a minute, you know, but it might be informational. Do you know what I mean? I was trying to chat to different guests. That's what people like about it. That's what some people hate about it. But you know what I mean? I'll do what I fucking want. It's 2023. I'll be suntanning my anus. But yeah, the 12 pods of Christmas are up there. I've tried to group the stuff on Patreon so it's easier for you to find. All the half-hour, power hours will be there. All the specials, all of the series that we put up. So it's all over there. And my New Year's resolutions. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna, instead of being fucking sporadic and doing everything I fucking think of immediately, which makes me abandon other things. What's the word for 2023? Discipline. We're gonna be disciplined and slow and steady. Instead of just going wild all over the place. So the half-hour, power hours will be steady and boring, and the regular podcast will be steady and boring. You know. And I'll not be throwing any wild ideas in there. We're just going to sit. 2023 is sitting at a computer getting my life straight. just chipping away. There we go. Not fucking going all crazy. Going mad all over the place. We're going to go real sensible with the podcast. We're going to have a new podcast, Say Nothing, and we're going to just put out some nice content, just do some work from an actual desk instead of being out there. You see, I put out my 2022 highlight, which I called the 2022 dump. That became a big thing in 2022, didn't it? People going, "This is my dump." Just doing a quick, couldn't go another day without emptying this camera roll. And then they dropped like photos of them in fucking Barbados, you know what I mean? Just, sorry, nothing to report. Just a wee bit of a photo dump here. Just lighten up the phone. Here's me in a bikini, on holiday when you cunts are at home. Just a wee photo dump. Just thought, do you know what I mean? Just haven't posted in a while. Just thought I would drop something on here. I'm in Dubai while you are at home freezing your bollocks off. So enjoy that. I'm suntanning my anus, so enjoy that, you guys. Just a dump, just to lighten the phone up a wee bit, you know what I mean? You know how it gets clustered. So I did a 2022 dump where, people talk about gratitude journals and stuff like that. I'm terrible for gratitude, I'll think of an idea, I'll go do it, and I rarely take time to go like, do you know what, Colin, that probably is not a bad effort, because I'm straight on to the next shit. I'm going like, what's next? We've done that, especially with stand-up. You go do a gig, bang, it's over, and you're like, let me just fucking, let me get on to the next one. And I do those little montage videos at the end of each year if I possibly can, just to remind myself to look back and go, wow, that was pretty impressive. It usually takes a third person. I need someone else to go, man, you've had some year, and then I put it together and I go, do you know what? It's been fucking decent, hasn't it? But I've talked to Armacan about this. 2022 seemed like we came out of the traps after lockdown and we just went absolutely fucking ham, as the children say these days. Hard as a motherfucker. Especially me, I took on everything. I tried to grow everything. I tried to, do more comedy clubs, all this shit, gig more, do bigger tour dates, all that shit. And when I seen that highlight put together, I was like, this is impressive. But do you know what there wasn't? There wasn't a lot of like, there was travel, but not for traveling's sake. There was a lot of travel for work, which means the highlight reel looks like, a lot of videos, a lot of glam shots of me walking on stage, and it looked very impressive. But it was absolutely hectic, French for hectic. So just looking at that, I want to go into 2023 with a lot more, be a lot more disciplined and sensible with the podcast, and just chip away at that, and then allow myself a bit more freedom to go do just interesting things, go weird places, try weird things, just so when I get to the end of the year and I decide to do one of those videos again, it looks a bit more like I've had fun. And I have had fun, but like, there's a few times during that year where I was like, this is fucking, you know what I mean? Could I be at home for one night here, guys? Let me watch the fucking telly. But here, it was, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for everybody that's come out for the tour gigs, for the big show at the SSE, everybody who watched Blender, the Lost Tapes, also available on YouTube, and everyone on Patreon who has hung in there and pretty much supported every wild maneuver that I've tried to make in 2022. So all the Blender Lost Tapes and all that sort of shit. It was the Patreon people that sort of allowed that freedom. So thank you very much. And if I had a button that went, would you fuck up? I would definitely hit it right now. But yeah, it's 2023. What's your New Year's resolutions, my guys? Anybody got any weird ones? I'll tell you the fucking weird thing about New Year's resolutions. You can do them any day, can't you? I feel like one of these online guys who's jumping up going, are you doing New Year's resolutions? It's a load of bollocks. But the thing is, like, you can turn a new page any day. If you're listening to me now, I sound like a life coach out here. You can fucking, you don't have to wait to a certain date. I did that to a certain extent, My other resolution 2023 is I would like, pronounce invisible obliques and abs by June. And, sort of like start of November, mid-November, I was like, I'm going to do what everyone does. New year, new me. I'm going to fucking get shredded, man. And then I thought, do you know what? What's stopping me now? And I started to eat better then. And obviously, I knew Christmas was coming up. But do you know what? I barely fucking did that much damage over Christmas. Other than a few fucking celebrations here or there and one night on the absolute fucking doomsday rip. But yeah, so there was £11 off by the time I got to Christmas. You know, Christmas is over us now. I'm gonna get back to the keto, suntan the anus. You know what I mean? I'll go to the sea and I'll take several photos at the sea with different shorts on and pretend like I've been in the cold water choked to death, cold water therapy, every day. But it's basically me on one day with different shorts. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're turning it down. We're working smarter, not harder this year. No fucking running about the place going absolutely mental. You know, I'm keeping the carbon footprint low. You know, that's what I'm doing this year. We're in the lab. That's what we're doing. We're in the lab, figuring shit out. That's my 2020. I sound like Biden. There's my 2023 resolutions is to I'm a black baseball player. You know that. Is that what he said to the Pope? Pope's dead. You know, I'm the king of segways. Pope's dead. What's his name? Frank. He died, didn't he? He was the only one to like step down as Pope. You gotta respect sometimes. You know what I mean? He's just like, listen, man. I don't give a fuck about this shit anymore. I'm out of here. I'm not gonna stay in this room till I die and you just blow a fag out the roof. I'm fucking out of here. Die quietly. That's what that man did. So what have I been up to? I don't know. The last podcast I did was with Aaron McCann, and that went out just before Christmas there. And oh no, I did one with Carl Spain, tell I. But I think that was shortly before we went out on the comedian's Christmas do. Which, I mean, the fear that you get when you're 36 and someone says, we're going out in like 2 weeks, and I go, okay, and all it is more time for me to talk myself out of it. And the closer it got, people were like, you going? I'm like, fucking what? And then I got right down to it, and it seemed like everybody was going out on the piss, and I was like, right, this doesn't happen very often, that everybody's free and everybody's out. So I was like, I'll fucking go, won't I? I'll go. And I ended up booking a hotel in Belfast, and Aaron McCann stayed with me. And I've got the fear now that I might have talked about this, but I can't remember. But I will run you through the events, nevertheless. It was a fucking disaster. I mean, these boys, there's no pacing in them. You know what I mean? They put the foot down and they just keep going. And we met them in Pug Uglies. And it was like me, Aaron, Niall went, Mickey, fucking Dave Elliott, William, Aaron Butler. He don't even drink, for fuck's sake. James McKegney, who we'll get to in a minute. Anyway, all the boys turned up. Apologies if I'm forgetting anybody there. But we all turned up. And I'll be honest, I walked in the door of Pugs and sat down, and there was like trays of cocktails going down. And I was like, okay, somebody's gonna die today, you know? And these boys are already hammered. You know, William was having his wee emergency chips. He's like, looked like he had too much already, and he was like, I'm gonna have to have a couple of fucking chips here just to fucking settle my nerves. And it kept piling in, and Dave had already organised 12 pubs, the 12 pubs of Christmas, and we were currently in the third one, and we spent quite a bit of time in Pugs, and it became pretty evident that we weren't going anywhere, and we kept drinking, and you know, a lot of boys are doing all right for themselves now. You know, there's no sneaking a carry out in your pocket into these fucking places. These boys are fucking. You're like, oh, you know, tray of fucking 10 9 quid cocktails come down. You're like, who's done the Ulster Hall now? Hey, you know, tray of fucking baby Guinness. Oh, who bought 10 pints of stout? Someone's done the fucking waterfront. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, boys. And we were drinking there, and then we were there for the night basically, and there was like music playing or something, and I said something like, do you know how old I am now? I'm like, it's getting to the part of the night when I'm like, I just would like to listen to my own music. So wild, boy. Like, and then I was like, do you know, be good. I was like, no, be class if we could just have like Lavery's Comedy Club and just sit in there and play our own tunes. And everybody went, yeah, fucking great idea. And I was like, okay, let me make a few phone calls here and send a few texts out. And immediately the managers at Lavery's were like, yeah, come on up. We'll show you how to hook the fucking phones up and all that shit. And we'll put the heating on and everything. And I was like, well, there you are, boys. We're going to Lavery's. And we went up there. You know, I ordered two fucking... Who's this? Taxing me. I ordered two motherfucking like meat platters, you know, and people were tucking into those. There's more drinks coming. They put on some young lad in the bar, and we were all playing our own tunes, you know, like fucking Slipknot. And this guy was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" I said, "What age are you?" He's like, 18. I was like, "What is happening? I'm literally twice your age. You got school tomorrow?" He's like, "Yeah, mental." So we're playing all the tunes. Tim McGarry was there. Who's to blame for that? I don't know. Who's to blame? He was there. Dave texted him, Tim McGarry turned up, and I don't think I interacted with him too much. I was just like, oh, Tim, good to see you, a big hug and all, fucking help yourself, do you want a pint and all, happy days. And then I was like, I'm aware that I'm far too drunk to be chatting to this man. And, you know, we just sat down at the table and got further hammered. And, I genuinely worry if I have dementia. Did I talk about this already on a podcast? I don't know. You're getting it twice. Anyway, we're drinking away. Blah, blah, blah. Tunes come on. Everyone starts dancing about. Mickey's got his dick tucked between his legs. I don't know why his whole body's hairy. And then he's shaved off his fucking gunt there. And it's completely hairless, like the back of a fucking uncooked chicken. I don't know. But him, William, and James McKegney all took their tops off. And they're all dancing around this stage. Weirdly, they all have like the same body. You know, they look like piglets at various stages of their life. And then what happened was, and I didn't really see it, but, you know, James McKegney did a little dance off the stage and took a tumble. I missed that bit. I seen him with his arm around William going out the back door, and I was like, oh, someone's had a few too many fucking shandies, is it? And then we drank on, and, you know, I literally teleported to the hotel. See if someone told me, like, oh, do you know what happened last night for the crack? We hired one of those pedal bar things, one of those bike bar things that you sit on with your 12 mates and pedal it down, and we cycled it back to the hotel and went into the hotel. I'd have been like, oh, news to me. Fantastic. I have no idea how I got to the fucking hotel. And then me and McCann basically tried to order a Subway, and from a shop that was most definitely closed, and the sandwiches probably turned up at 12 o'clock the next day. Absolutely blind drunk. And he's like fucking FaceTiming his American mates and all, like, well, lad, what's the crack? And I'm in the background going like, don't put me in the camera, please point the camera away, please. Fucking hammered, like. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful behaviour. And then it turns out the next day, you know, the videos start flying about. McKegney sends me a photo from hospital with two fucking boots on. I'm like, what's going on there, bro? And he goes, oh, do you remember, you know, just the wee dance move I did and fell on the floor? Yeah. Broke my ankle on one foot, broke my fucking foot on the other foot. The guy sea lioned himself in one manoeuvre. Two flippers for feet immediately. Absolutely insane. So that's him. That's him absolutely fucked. If he was a horse, they'd put him down. But that's him just chilling, two broken feet. And wild times. You probably get a claim now from Lavery's Comedy Club, or we'll get him stage access. You know what I mean? We'll get him a chairlift up to go up one step onto the stage. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? But yeah, wild night. All in all, not wild, but mental. You know, like just we didn't get up to many shenanigans other than suicidally drink for all of the evening. But that was it. That was Christmas. And the next day, I was absolutely in bits. Worse than I've experienced in quite a while. You know, we went for breakfast, got in the car, drove back. McCann got the bus. I got home, and then went immediately to bed because the child was asleep, and I went, I'm going to bed too, and I went to bed and woke up hours later, and then had a fucking Chinese because we're sun bleaching our ass. We're sun tanning our anuses, and we're losing weight. That's what we're doing, guys. Biden again. Biden strokes. But we did have a Chinese and a breakfast in one day, and about 8 o'clock the next day, I just like something came over me, and I was like, oh, there it is. Now I'm sober enough to drive home, and I'd already been home for about 8 hours. So bad times. Enjoy your youth, my guys, because at some point you're going to be 36 and your liver is just an old fucking, like one of them green things that you, what do you call it, like Oasis, or like you put fake plants in. That's what your liver is, just an old spongy crisp. Absolute disaster. Probably contributed a lot to why I sound like Biden today. Just can't string two words together with my fucking shitty Invisalign here like a dickhead. But anyway, Merry Christmas. It was a good time. Christmas dinner was fantastic. All that shit. Me and Maureen didn't even get each other presents. Fuck presents. Like what happens is now, when you're a grown adult, you go, oh, I'd like that, and you buy it for yourself. That's what you do. You treat yourself. Treat yourself. You go, oh, that's nice, I'll have that. And then it gets around to Christmas, and the blatant consumerism that you see becomes more evident when you get a bit older. You're like, why am I culturally forced by society? Probably doesn't make sense, that sentence. We're like, why am I forced to fucking go out in a very stressful environment forced to buy a present for you when I bought you shit all year? What do I want? Nothing. There's nothing you're going to buy me that I need or want. So I don't know. I said to Maureen, I was like, listen, I'm getting you fuck all, and I'll get you whatever you want the rest of the year. Because I was in my office in Belfast, and the landlord needed a key cut, and I was like, right, I'll go get a key cut. Took me about half an hour to get round to the fucking, what was it, Kennedy Centre. Shout out the Wild Wild West. And I get right into the fucking place, and I walk around to the key cutting shop, and it's closed. And I'm like, well, fuck that. Fuck your key. Fuck your gifts. No one's getting anything. Fuck all that. And that's what happened. Everyone I ran into, close family, in-laws, I was like, let me tell you something. I have got you nothing. And I'll get you whatever you want the rest of the year. But if you think I'm going into a fucking shop right now to buy a smelly candle, you can kiss my anus. You can snorkel my actual pipe. And that's the Christmas spirit, guys. That is the Christmas spirit from General Banter podcast. I'm not getting you anything at Christmas, but I'll get you whatever you want the rest of the year. Rumpa-pump-pump. So that was it. Just fairly quiet Christmas. There's a weird thing that happens when you've got like children. We have one child, but there's a weird thing happens where everything, you get used to your normal life week to week, and you got a kid, and sometimes you get child minding, and you get on with your life, and everything's open. And then see, when it's Christmas, people are away, your babysitters are away, shops are closed, amenities are closed, and then you're like, I'm just trapped here with this motherfucker 24/7. So for people with children who get like time off work for Christmas, it's harder. You wake up and you're like, well, here goes the 14-hour shift of looking after this crazy bastard all day. It's mental, but ultimately beautiful and fun. We were actually supposed to go to the Netherlands for the new year, but we decided that, just being the time of year that it is, and the weather that you would be arriving to, and the stuff that we would need to bring with the child, we were just like, I don't think it's worth it. I think we could, if we're going to make a big effort to go on a first holiday with a baby, it better have a fucking swimming pool and be sunny. I'm not doing all this shit to go to fucking the Netherlands where it's -12. No thanks. So we decided not to, but instead we decided to book a little hotel break. Me and Maureen took the child to it's called Seafield Hotel and Spa. Where is it? Wicklow? Past Wicklow somewhere? I don't know. It's in a place called Gorey. I don't know. But we decided to go down for a couple of nights, and once again, it's like going to the Netherlands. You go, oh, we're going to go down to this hotel and do what? Just chase after this child for fucking 48 hours straight. Fantastic. But yeah, we do we've been there before. It's like our little secret. We go down there. It's not the Galgorm where you know, you walk around, you fucking know everybody. What's crack? Oh, it's crack. Well, go way down there. Nobody fucking knows who you are. You know, apart from you do get looks from everybody with the Northern Reg for some reason. I don't know. There's something about we go to Greystones, right, and go to that Happy Pear place, which I've ranted on many times on this podcast. But you go down there, and it's like, I would love to know the history of that area. Someone look into this for me. But you know when people talk about like the Peel and all this shit, where like England pretty much ruled a section of Ireland. I mean, some big a lot of sections, but like there was one particular place, the Peel. But you're down there and you're like, this doesn't give me like an Irish vibe. This gives me a posh English vibe. Everyone in the place. And there's obviously a pile of money flying about in this area. Because you just see it, you know what I mean? You look around and you just pick up wee things, you know? Especially if you're a hype beast like me, you're looking over and you're like, look at this old doll with the fucking, oh, she's got the Columbia hat on. She's got the fucking Adidas Terex shoe. Oh, God, look at that. You know, she's wearing a fucking long, like, what do you call a brand? Arc'teryx or something coat. And you're like, well, that'd be about 800 quid. You just see it. You see little glimpses of wealth, even though they're very, like, you know, we're all very holistic and we're all nomads and we all go sea swimming and all. But you look at them and you're like, you would fucking, I know what you're like. You're all like, we're going to a chanting circle. Would you like to go? The ticket is €480 to go, and we sit in a circle and light candles and just get in contact with our chakras. You know? You homeless bum. I don't know what it is about posh Irish people. Like, I think it's because you don't expect it from Irish people, but when you go to some English place where it's like full of money and everyone's fucking get out of my way peasant. When you experience that in Ireland, you're like, who the fuck do you think you are? You fucking dick. You just get that vibe, you know. You see just wee glimpses of the kids wearing fucking, you know what I mean, pair of Jordans or something. That's a bad example because Eddie has Jordans. Someone gave it to him, but you know what I mean. You see wee glimpses of that. You see someone dragging like 3 curly-haired 5-year-olds through some shop, going, "Would you, Charlie? Could you get a fucking run over and get your mother some focaccias?" And the kid knows exactly what you're talking about. I love focaccia. What do you want for your fucking lunch? Is it prosciutto inside a fucking calzone, is it? Yes, Mommy. That's my favourite. You know my favourite is langoustines and linguine. Been dreaming about it all day. These cunts. That's what happens. They get rich and they're all like about their lifestyle, and then they go back the way. You know, there's a guy running with a pair of fucking sandals on. You know, because he's like, you know, I've tried all the shoes, man. I've tried the Hokas. I've tried the Brooks or whatever they're called. But I'm really trying to just retrain my feet. So at the minute I'm running up a main street in a pair of like sandals that you'd see someone wearing in the fucking Serengeti. Because I do have the time to do that. You know, I do. I sold my business. But yeah, it's just a fucking weird place. And the Happy Pear, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's nice and all that, and I don't want to slag their business. They've done very well, and I like their message. But I don't think there's any locals going to that. I think it's just a lot of fucking quinoa tourism turning up, being like, oh, wait, let's get our lunch here and take a photo of it. Did we wait 45 minutes for a fucking flat white? We did. Maureen got a fucking chai latte or something. I was like, what is that? And she goes, it's nice. It's really like good for you, and it's a mild sort of caffeine, and it's kind of earthy. Like mud. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we all want to pay fucking $4.50 for. A muddy coffee. Get a flat white for fuck's sake and a bean burger and shit your pants later on. Like a fucking real man. But anyway, something, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about those posh people. I need to speak to someone from down there. Like Tom O'Mahony used to live around there. And not far from it. And that whole area just seems like just very posh Irish people, which are the worst on earth. I'll figure out a way to articulate it, but I don't know. Fuck them. Yeah, they'll be the type to be like, I'm getting in touch with my chakras, and we're doing a yoga class here in the candle shop. And did I tell you last night that we found a homeless vagrant sleeping in front of the shop? So we took the liberty of setting him alight because we don't want that sort of thing in this town, because it was interrupting my deep breath work that I was doing inside the shop, which barely needs to be open because no one buys candles anyhow. But yeah, fuck them. I'm talking some shite today anyway. Who've we got coming on the podcast next week? I can't remember. But anyway, what other news has been happening? Andrew Tate, he's been going fucking ballistic again. I just want to pause the podcast for a second, guys, for a moment of calm. For our sponsor, the Calm app. It's just the best app out there for all things mental well-being and chilling out and staying calm. It's got everything in there. It's got the mindfulness exercises, the breathing exercises, soundscapes. It's got nighttime stories for adults, which we avail of in this house. You know, we'll get into bed and Maureen enjoys nothing more than falling asleep to the sound of another man, so she'll put on like Cillian Murphy and he'll talk about travelling around Ireland and going, you know, oh, there's Dunluce Castle, and you get the, you know, for a brief second before you fall asleep, you get to sit there and go, oh my goodness, I know where that place is. Oh, fantastic. And you're asleep. It's fantastic, guys. It's a great addition to your life. 2023, if wellness and well-being is one of your priorities this year, one of your New Year's resolutions, go to calm.com/banter and you will get 40% off your subscription, which is absolutely phenomenal. Calm.com/banter and you will get 40% off. Now back to the podcast, my guys. He hasn't really. It all sounds super suspect, doesn't it? You know, it seems like I have some conspiracy theorist friends and they'd be losing their mind right now. They'd be like, you're starting to pick up, you know, there's chinks in the matrix. Don't isolate that clip. But you see it, you know, like, oh, Andrew Tate gets arrested for sex trafficking. And it's like, did everybody find out at once and post it all at once? Because just out of nowhere, boom, the whole timeline from every fucking source was like, Andrew Tate's got arrested. And then I watched the arrest footage of it, and then my neck cracked there, disgusting. And then I seen someone else do a breakdown of this fucking thing, and they were like, it all seems so weird. Like, they just go get him, walk him to the car, like they're all armed and all sorts of shit. They walk him to this shitty van. It is Romania, so you know what I mean. The van looks like it's just absolutely clapped out. And he gets in there, no cuffs, sits in the back. You can see through the front window. He's doing this fucking like Illuminati like triangle bullshit. And they pull off, and the doors open and all, so you can get either photographs through the side or someone could shoot at him through the side and all this shit. And you're like, this is very suspect. You know? Gets arrested for sex trafficking. I don't know what the crack is. Or human trafficking. I don't know. The last thing I heard was years ago he had some sort of like house where people could go and become like a cam girl, and he would just rake up all the money and pay them, just like some sort of digital pimp. And which I don't know. He is a fucking weird dude. Like, I've been over this before. Him, Liver King, all these fucking freaks. Why do we give a fuck? Why do we give a fuck about these people? But Tate's out there sex trafficking. I don't know. And then people are like, it's a cover up because it's something to do with JP Morgan and them fucking being involved in like real sex trafficking to Epstein's Island and all this here shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. The place is mental. I don't believe everything. Anytime there's one of those stories that just bombs the internet and it's everywhere, you're like, something's going on. That's what they do now. And then Tate's like, you know, this is what they don't want someone like me to be this influential, so they're probably just trying to take me down whatever way they can. Or in this case, maybe just use you as a distraction. Cut in the fucking X-Files theme. But I don't know. At the same time, who gives a flying fuck? You know what I mean? All these things go on. You know, the more you look into it, the more you start to freak out. I'm a very casual conspiracy theorist, you know what I mean? But you're like, Ghislaine Maxwell there, you know, she gets sent into jail and everyone's like, well, that's that, done and dusted. And you're like, tell me who else was on that island? Release the tapes. I need more Netflix content. I can't sit through a movie anymore. I need to know about these elite pedo rings, honeypots, things like that. Let me know about them. That seems to be what happened. They're just like, well, you're the only fucking one still alive, Ghislaine. Get in that fucking low security jail and just faff around and make candles. Who was on the plane, guys? Wouldn't you be absolutely shitting your knickers if you were like, oh, I was with my mates and they were like, do you want to go to this island for a lunch? And you imagine you went to Epstein's Island literally for a panini. And you're like, I don't know, some mate of mine, you know, we're in a company, we got a couple of investments here, flew out in this fucking helicopter, you know, had the GoPro, took a few nice shots, landed, met some fella called Jeff, you know, he looked weird. We chatted a bit of business and, you know, had a focaccia. And then we said, right, see you later, got on the plane, fucked off. And then people are like, you know, there's a whole lot of, you know, underage banging going on in that island. And you're like, oh, really? And then you're going through your phone going, let me just show you a picture of, hold on a second here. Let me just flick through that. There's a picture of my panini. Just to let you see that. That's all I had was a panini. Not any underage. Thanks, some people. What? It's 2023. New year, same me. Shit getting talked in this bitch. I was going to pause this podcast and do like a separate questions. But I think what we'll do is we'll hang in here. And we'll do some questions up in this bitch. Anyway, I never finished my New Year's thing. We were down there for New Year's Eve. Went for dinner. And then me and Maury just sat in this little fucking like apartment thing that we rented. And, you know, the child was asleep. And we were just sitting there drinking, got some champagne. We're like, what do we do? It's just like every other fucking day. And we watched Jules Holland, which, by the way, shite. And do you know what? Everything I've seen on TV, music-wise this year, shite. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like fucking... Can we have a bit of fun around here? Jules Holland was good crack when he would just be like, here's fucking, you know, just random combinations of people. C6 Steve! And fucking Jamiroquai! And you'd hear some song. Ladies and gentlemen, up next. And then you would actually know the people. And now he's like, ladies and gentlemen, follow me over here. And we're going to watch a man that plays in my pub every Sunday. Take it away. The guy's like, don't even fucking chat to me. Anyway, so yeah, just the way it got round to fucking, it was hilarious because we were watching the TV in the hotel, and about 10 seconds before midnight, the TV went into that like sleep mode, and we're like, oh, for fuck's sake. But anyway, what can you do, man? Every day, every New Year, you can have a New Year starting fucking mid-March. Who gives a shit? Turn it around whenever, my guys. Let me get into some of these fun articles I've been sent here. Bloke spent 12.5k turning himself into a dog, but pals worry that they think he's weird. Oh, no shit. A man known as Toko has become a YouTube sensation for playful clips of him dressed up as a super realistic rough collie dog costume, but his pals have no idea it's him. Well, we're in the pub together, and the guy walks out, and then a dog walks in. And they're like, "Oh, there's a lovely dog. I wonder where fucking Davey went." And then he leaves again and comes back. And where's Davey there? You smell like pedigree chums. A bloke who dresses and lives like a dog says he fears pals will think he's weird if he reveals his favourite pastime. Toko from Japan has never appeared on camera without wearing his bespoke 12 grand collie suit. Oh, God almighty. I became a rough collie because I wanted to be an animal. From now on, I'm thinking of uploading videos at my own pace. Even the dogs are getting fucking pressure from the content mill. You know? Just sitting there fucking licking your balls. Tell you what, man. This new algorithm's fucking me. You gotta be putting out 3 videos a day for people to even watch your fucking goddamn reels. You know what I mean? How long do I have a shit? In another video titled "I became a rough collie and relaxed on the sofa," Toko first appeared in his lifelike dog costume, slowly plodding towards a small piece of furniture. It's been viewed over 7,000 times. Okay, who gives a fuck? After the first clip. Right, hold on a second here. Launching his YouTube site. Let me just see if I can get a video of this motherfucker. Let me see. What's going on here? Why did it just go to a different thing? Oh my god. Moving inside that dog costume looks very difficult and, to be honest, very uncomfortable. Watching him struggle to climb on the sofa was cute yet sad. Look at that. No, see, no one's impervious to slaggins here. The guy's in a full costume. The picture looks like a dog. And then, of course, in the comments, maybe for a couple of thousand more quid, he could have got some realistic paws. Even the trolls are hitting this fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? The guy, of course, has no pals, as quoted. And he's like trying to, have a bit of fun, make videos at his own pace. And even here, people are like, oh, if for a couple of extra grand, you could have got real fucking paws, you fucking loser. And then someone absolutely barking mad. It is mental. But this is I don't know, something's happened in his childhood. I have no idea. Did he grow up and everyone ignored him, and he's like, here, I tell you what, the dog's getting a lot more attention than me. Let me later in life spend £12,500 on this thing to look like fucking Lassie. Guy's nuts. Anyway, I don't know why I chat about that. Oh my god, loads of questions. Here we go. Loads of questions. We might as well chip away at these. It's 2023, you know what I mean? We'll get an old half hour power hour done separately. We'll chat about that. But let's go through the questions. It's been a while since I got some questions here. Which Irish celebrity do you think is far removed from Ireland? It's hard to imagine they're from here. Graham Norton comes to mind. Yeah, well, I mean, Graham Norton, I imagine he's lived in London for fucking years. But like Pierce Brosnan. Oh my god, that's a fucking embarrassing clip. Let me see. I'm gonna look this up. Pierce Brosnan. Where's he from? Cavan? Right, okay. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Cavan. Is it Cavan? Right, so here's what happens. He's chatting to this dude. And I don't know what Pierce Brosnan. He kind of sounds like James Bond. He kind of sounds like that sort of fucking. Neeson went a bit that way, just a regular movie voice. But then he's talking to this guy. I think the guy says Cavan or Navan or some bullshit, and he immediately goes, "Oh, this is a very special place."
Where it's gonna get interesting. Where I'm from.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Navan.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
How are you keeping?
Oh, I'm from Navan. Oh, Jesus, you're not so good. I don't know what accent I'm doing, but
great. I was sitting watching the movie, and I was like, "You're the first superhero from Navan."
I am his first superhero from Navan. Can you believe that? Oh, well, it's lovely to meet you, Thomas.
You too.
Grand. Cheers.
From home.
Grand. Cheers. Fucking. What other words do I know from years ago? From Navan, is it?
Welcome.
Truly from home. Navan is deep in my heart.
It's James Bond. Chicken not stirred, is it now? What? He's all like, oh, I turned back into a leprechaun.
Thanks to the boy in there, across from the town, my grandfather, God bless him, built a lovely little bungalow, and that was my home. I don't know if it's still there.
I don't know if it's still there, boys.
It sure is.
But, good. I'm going to go back there. I'm doing another film here in a few months.
Brilliant.
So I'll go back home.
There's always a graw for you in Ireland. I always find, people love to see you doing well.
Yes, no. Well, this is a good one to do well in. Black Adam, it's...
I'm just standing out of accents because that's what I do now. I'm from all over the fucking place, isn't it? Anyway, Pierce Brosnan. They always say, your favourite Bond is the one you grew up with. He's a good Bond, isn't he? Suave. Well, I'm from your hometown, Navan. Oh, well, I couldn't believe that, man. What's going on? Just saying everything. Grand pints, fucking turf. You know yourself. What am I talking about here? Oh, what Irish celebrity? Yeah, Pierce Brosnan's one. You know, obviously after that fucking breakdown, which is fantastic for me. Not. Who else is fucking Irish? Graham Norton's one. I mean, like your Liam Neeson's and stuff like that. I mean, it's always amazing when you go to somewhere else and you know you find out how uneducated other places are. You know, like you fucking there's tons of shit from here that's like global now. You know, you could go like, I've been American, like, where are you from? You're like, oh, you know, from Ireland. Oh, which part? Oh, it's in the north, like Northern Ireland. Where's that? Or I've said Northern Ireland to people, and they've been like, what? And you're like in Ireland, and they're like, what's Ireland? And you're like, have you heard the term Irish? Yeah, that people from Ireland. What? Fuck, I never really thought about that. That's amazing. Anyway, you literally have to be like, do you know who Conor McGregor is? Just from the same island. I mean, you know, well, I don't know. Starting my own Invisalign journey in 2 weeks. How's your experience? Are they a pain in the hole? I've got them in right now. That's why it sounds like I'm all fucking whistling and shit like that. Here's my experience so far. I'm 4 weeks in. I'm on my 4th set. Here's what's happened to me. You put them in, you go, Jesus, these aren't too bad. After a couple of days, you're like, right, the pain, not pain, but like a bit of fucking, you know, the bit of strain on them. And I'll be like, Jesus, that tooth's pretty sore today. A couple of days later, oh, that one's a bit sore. And then you kind of get used to it, and they're just in, you know, but you have to take them in and out to fucking eat, obviously. And then you want to fucking clean them and put them back in. I've got very loosey-goosey with that now. Now I'll just fucking pull them out, have a cup of coffee, rinse my mouth out with water, and then fucking put them back in. Piece of shit. But what happened in the last week is, and I don't even know if this is normal, I almost feel like I should speak to the dentist. My fucking jaw has just been killing me. And I think it's not being able to fully close your mouth. You know, there's like a few, it's like every time you go to naturally close your mouth, there's like something in between your teeth and your jaw kind of never quite relaxes shut or whatever. So yeah, like the last couple of days I've just been like, my fucking jaw is killing me, man. Absolutely killing me. But other than that, it's grand. And mine aren't even in that long. Like I've 4 weeks done of 13 or something. So, you know, we'll plow through it. It does stop you eating as sporadically. You know, there's no snacking. What I've my general like day-to-day shit would be I fucking keep them in all morning, and then usually about lunchtime pop them out and eat something, and eat quite a bit of food so I don't have to eat again till way later on. So that's exciting, isn't it? Isn't that exciting with my fucking stupid teeth? That I'm paying to get buck teeth is what I'm doing. But hopefully it's worth it in the end, and then my teeth will move a wee bit, and then I won't chip them every fucking time I sneeze. But anyway, what about your boy Tate being used as distraction? Oh yeah, for JP Morgan and can get away with helping Epstein. Oh, JP Morgan can get away with helping Epstein. Oh my god. Is it here's Colin's fucking word of advice. Don't get too rich or powerful. You know what I mean? Here's what you want to do. Get slightly entrepreneurial. Get to a level where you're like, can save a bit and live a decent life. And then don't really have ideas above your station. Because see when people start moving into fucking multi-millions, I say millions and billions like they're close, but you know, loads of money and power and influence, and you just start rubbing shoulders with some dodgy cunts. You know, so it's better to just be like, here, I'm staying under the radar, paying my taxes, whatever, chilling out. You know, I can fucking take the family on a wee holiday, lovely stuff. But we'll not work our way up into that realm where people start being like, if you shove a couple of mil my way, we'll look after you if you want to do anything seedy. Wink, wink. And that's basically the type of people that run Great Britain right now. You know, these Rishi Sunaks and all this here. No one's voted for a single one of these cunts, but they're in there. And I'm not, don't get me started on. I say things like, don't get me started on politics, because I actually fucking don't know anything about it. But, from the random facts I've picked up off TikTok, Sunak, dodgy cunt. Married to, dodgy cunt. Accounts in weird places. Cash. Anyway, in his Palm Angel fucking slides. Who do you think you are, bro? Me? I don't have slides. But anyway, we move along. When are Gary Henderson lost tapes coming out? Asking for a friend. God. I can't be bothered with the makeup. You know what I mean? Jim Carrey thought he had a rough time on The Grinch. 14 hours of makeup every day? Nah. Try being Gary Henderson. Okay. Nightmare. Have you seen the Taxi Joe series on YouTube based on a taxi man in Newry? Had a premiere at the Strand not long after your lost tapes. Yeah, I actually, do you know what? I've definitely heard of that character, and I haven't seen that much of it, to be honest. But I did hear through Niall that the dude whose name escapes me right now, who plays that character, made a fucking full film, which is pretty amazing. Which I would like to see, for sure. I must check that out, actually. Taxi Joe. That'll be my afternoon taken care of. I'll catch up on Taxi Joe. Settle a bet. Is it... What? Settle a bet. Is it Tree Down on on January 6th, or does anybody give a flying fuck? Let me tell you something. The amount of shite that is gathered in our living room, I'm like, get it down the fuck. Because we moved this 2-seater out of the way and we put the tree in, and the room is cluttered and there's shit falling off the tree, and there's shit all around the bottom of the tree, decorations, all sorts of bullshit, and I'm just like, get it out of here. Someone look, if you're watching this right now, look up Rick Rubin's Malibu house or something. I seen photos from inside Rick Rubin's house. That's what I want. You walk in, obviously it's, the weather's nice enough outside, but you can just leave the patio doors open, and the warm breeze blows through. And he's just got white walls, big polished cement floor, 2 fucking big grey beanbags, 1 sofa, 2 speakers pointed at him, and he just sits there like, fantastic. That's the way I want my house to be. Fuck all in it. You just sit there staring. Interesting. But instead, you walk in the living room and you go, over on your ankle, and you go, what the fuck was that? You go, oh, it's Peppa Pig, isn't it? Or it's a little plastic Paddington Bear, and I rolled my fucking ankle and fell headfirst into the fire the other day. It's all good. But yeah, it's tree down. I mean, it's tree down fucking... I mean, what's ideal for a tree to go up? Probably start at December, but... if you want to keep any excitement, maybe like a week before, 2 weeks before Christmas if you got kids, I don't know. And then New Year, probably it should be down. What did Santa bring me? Fuck all. My sister got me, there's something weird about getting a new aftershave, isn't there? I don't really give too many fucks about it, but I think someone bought me Chanel Bleu one time. And I put it on and I was like, this is what I feel like I should smell like, If someone was like, oh, I've run into Colin Geddes, what do you smell like? Fresh, just clean, just fresh and clean. That's what it smells like. But so, what did my sister give me? I forget the name of it. Mont Blanc or something? I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyway, there's a weird thing that happens when I spray other aftershave on myself and I go, oh, I smell like I've just fucking got off with another fella. Something, you ever smell things and be like, this smells like just another guy? Was I snogging some dude? Shout out to the word snogging. God. By the way, Eddie got every musical instrument you can fucking think of. There's 2 ukuleles there for some reason. I know, and he puts on Elvis Jailhouse Rock. He's the new Elvis, this guy. He puts fucking Jailhouse Rock on and dances about with a guitar. And then he go, again, Jailhouse Rock? And you go, okay, and you play it again. And you just play it fucking 30 times, and try not to blow your brains out. The Shaw. How do comedians sell merch on tour? Cash, Revolut, POS. And do comedy houses ever have tip jars that are for comedians in a similar way that bars collect for musicians / bar staff? Interesting question. So a tip jar, the only time I've seen that exist is at the Edinburgh Fringe. Is the only place I've seen that exist, and the reason it does exist is because back when they used to do the free Fringe, and you took a chance and went to a show, and it happened to be a show that was great, and it was a lesser known comedian, you would basically throw money in and go, that was fantastic, here's a tenner, and because the person had paid to be there and paid for their accommodation themselves, and we're doing a free Fringe, you kind of depended on like tips for like almost like a per diem, if you had a good show, decent turnout, and everyone threw in fucking 3-4 quid, $5, whatever, you might end up with like a wee chunk of money for that day, and you could buy your food and all that shit. Then what happened was, even if you were with like one of the bigger sort of, I don't know what the term is, companies, I don't know, you would do a show and sell a ticket at the box office, and the box office would take a cut, and everybody would fucking take a cut, and you didn't get it till like well after the Fringe, so people still would put a bucket out and be like, yeah, if you had a good show, throw in some fucking cash. You really do have to whore yourself out, like. But at Lavery's Comedy Club, there's no tip jar. Obviously the comedians get paid. There's no tip jar, but I don't see why not. I mean, there's other ways to support comedians nowadays. Most of them have fucking Patreons and podcasts and all this shit, merch. Regards to selling merch at gigs, I've only sold merch at gigs for a handful of them, mainly because getting it there, some of the merch might already be on sale online, and then you have to fucking take the actual items to the fucking venue, set them up, sell them, do a recount, and then go back and try and fuck with your stock and all that shit. So sometimes it's easier just to be like, if you want a t-shirt, it's at fucking colingaddis.com, which is getting changed up, my guys. If anyone feels like messaging me again going, your site's down, I know, we're fixing it. But anyway, maybe it is a thing that I should try and do, is sell a bit more merch at gigs. But again, don't know what the gigs are going to be like this year. Would you tour Australia? General Banter podcast got mentioned on I'm Quitting Alcohol podcast, so you may get Aussie/more Aussie listeners. P.S. Cheers for the lost tapes. Nice. I'm Quitting Alcohol. I've seen that name. There's so many fucking podcasts now. Like you could literally be like, you could get a message from someone like, do you want to do a podcast? And you're like, man, I'm not doing your podcast, I can't be bothered. And then they're like, it gets fucking 20,000 downloads a minute. It's hard to know. James McLaughlin here. If you've got the link to that podcast, I would check that out. Always love wee mention, Usually it's terrible, but will there be any stand-up content from the time you supported Kevin Hart? Watched your SSE show for the umpteenth time on YouTube last night and was in stitches. It was great meeting you at your Manchester show. No man, sure, the phones were bagged up the whole tour. So nobody could film anything. We weren't allowed to film stuff. We did film at Lavery's, and his team would take the hard drive and take the footage and wipe it and give it back to us. So I don't know, but yeah. Watched it for the umpteenth time. Here's the thing: that tour that I just recently did, I should have shot. I definitely filmed a few sets, like single camera, just filmed the whole show. Which would probably do for a lot of people if you just wanted to stick something on. But I did mean to shoot that as a special, and there was a few dates we looked at, and there was different availabilities, and people couldn't do it and whatever. And I was just like, for fuck's sake. And then I just never go around to it. So let me know if that's a good idea. I might just throw on like a fucking Lavery's Comedy Club randomly, get a small crowd in, and just shoot the fucking thing. And only go if you haven't been to the SSE and any of my tour shows. And we'll get the material shot. You can laugh your heads off real loud, extra loud. And then we'll have a nice special cut together. Just to have it, There's no point in doing it all year and then fucking just moving on to the next set, forgetting about it. No question, just wishing you and the gang a happy new year. Thanks, bro. Michael McNally. watch the 2022 dump. Was insane year for you, bro. Being busy and successful. Looking forward to the best of 22 podcast highlights. Get the horny goat Nile working. Well, the 2022 dump, I actually fucking edited that one. People will be surprised to hear. And someone like Nile will hear that and be like, yeah, of course you fucking edited that. Because mine would look way better. And that's probably true. But, you know, sometimes you gotta just fucking do it yourself. You know what I mean? Can't have someone else edit my shit all the time. I do like making videos. The odd time I need to be like, right, let me do this. But yeah, hopefully it is busy. And do you know what? Hopefully it's successful and not too busy. That's what I'd like. I'd like controlled, fucking targeted aggression. That's what I would like. Instead of just flailing all over the place. That's what I'm going to do. And that's the last question we have here, my guys. Which brings us beautifully to the end. A controlled, accurate attack on 2023. With a suntanned anus and pronounced obliques. And that's what we'll do. I'm going to get out of here, folks. Cheers for listening. I will be recording every Thursday with a guest from now on. And they will be out on a Tuesday. So that's how we're going to attack 2023. Thanks to all the patrons who have signed up. If you want to sign up to patreon.com/genderbanterpodcast, you can get all the 12 pods of Christmas, all the half-hour power hours, all that shit together and support the cause. Be part of the Dead On Mafia. You know, we will be constantly fine-tuning, upgrading, changing everything. And you guys can be part of that journey. I appreciate you. Right, I'm getting the fuck out of here. That's it. Get on the Patreon. I've nothing else to sell. I've no other gigs planned. You know what I mean? That's it. We're just podcasting. We're just delivering content for the rest of 2023 with a tan anus. Cheers, guys. Speak days later. Up the hoods. I have to do the noises myself now, for fuck's sake.